Hello, friends. I am Michael Kingswood. I write fiction for fun and profit. And sometimes, though, I let my hair down and talk about music. And since I got my hair down today, I guess we're going to do that. Um, so I haven't done a Music Monday in a while, and for various reasons, I've been busy working on that. But this weekend had a cool thing go down that I felt the need to share and to talk about because I had a lot of fun. So on Thursday, my oldest son, who's 16, he texted me in the middle of the day and said, "Hey, Dad, my teacher has tickets that we can get for free to a Linkin Park show on Saturday. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Linkin Park? Heck yeah!" But it turned out it wasn't Linkin Park. It was for, in the end, the Linkin Park experience, the Linkin Park tribute band. And, well, that's okay because I love Linkin Park stuff. It's interesting because I haven't. So I was stationed in Hawaii when their first albums came out, and I loved them, bought them. Then I got doing other things. I lost track of them a little bit, and then of course I heard about the tragedy with their singer and all that sort of thing. But I liked their music for the longest time, but haven't really kept pace with their more later stuff. But I was like, shoot, let's go. And so he got some free tickets from his teacher because his teacher was at a different show, and they were just giving out tickets for it. It's like, oh, cool. So on Saturday, we went down to the House of Blues here in San Diego and for the show. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, it turns out that it wasn't just them. They had two opening bands. And that's really what I want to talk about because everybody knows Linkin Park and they're awesome. And I didn't know about In the End, but they really put on a great show covering Linkin Park's tunes and doing it really well. But I found, and what I found, I loved it. It was, don't get me wrong, but I always enjoy meeting opening bands who I have never heard of before, and I found these two bands interesting, so I wanted to talk about them just because it was great. The whole experience was great because, like I said, my son is 16, and this was his first real going to a rock and roll concert thing, and brought him, and he was he was a little bit nervous. It's like, is this gonna be rough? I mean, I don't know. And it's like, dude, it's the House of Blues. It'll be fine. And he shows up, and he had a great time. We had a great time. I had a great time with him. It was awesome. But I just felt the need to talk about it. So the two opening bands were interesting. The first one was called Hooked Like Helen, and the second one was Blaze Francisco. Hooked Like Helen was from Ohio, and Blaze is from Los Angeles. And like I said, hadn't met either of them, and it's interesting so I'm going to share some music from them here, just because I can. I mean, not that I have a big platform, but it's fun to talk about it. But Hooked Like Helen in particular was it's interesting because when they showed up, they played their opening tune, and they're like, "So we're from Ohio, and we sing about unresolved trauma and other things like that." And I was like, "Oh God, tell me you're not going to be fun." But it turned out they were kind of fun, and it's interesting. Their band is kind of cool because the girl who's the lead singer, she's married to the bassist, and she's been sober for 12 years, and her brother and sister were manning the merch desk where they were selling their merch, and it was like, man, this is sort of a family outfit. I kind of like it. It's kind of cool, and props to going through the 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 process to get sober and stay sober for 12 years, and she sings real well. And so I was like, yeah, I kind of I appreciate what they were doing. And so let's just share one of the songs they played here. It was like I said, this is, I think they said it was like it's kind of like a ballad for getting over a breakup. So it's called Doesn't Look So Good for You Now. So let's go with that. Here we go. Just to share it because we can. It's actually pretty well done in terms of their video. So yeah, that was like I said, from their initial intro, going through their music, I was like, yeah, they do pretty well. Then they said, hey, Blaze Francisco is coming next, and I was like, okay, we're not getting to the main band yet. And then so I was like, okay, cool. And then Blaze came out, and it's interesting because from the concerts I've gone to before, it seems like the opening band's been less well known, more well known, and then the main act. But when I was looking for Blaze online, whereas Hooked on Helen has a fairly good, at least online following, Blaze doesn't have nearly as much. But those guys came out, and it's like dudes in shape, a couple dudes who were in shape with big beards, and like, and it's like. And they played music that were more of a punk kind of style, which I don't normally go for. But they were just crushing it. And I was immediately impressed by their bassist, this dude named Phil. And at first I thought he was the guitar player just because the way he was playing his bass. It was like he was up doing all this sort of thing, and the bass lines were like really intricate. and pretty impressive. And they put on frankly, a pretty killer show. They covered that one song, "Baby, I'm Ready to Go." Yeah, that one. But just made it like crushing. But they also played obviously a bunch of their own stuff, and I couldn't find an actual music video of theirs that they put together. I'm going to share here a little video of theirs that they played at a bar, and you can see the bassist I'm talking about here. The audio is not so great, but still, you can see this. This is just a couple months ago at the Redwood Bar. Them. Check this out. I assume the Redwood Bar is in
We're playing Francisco from Los Angeles, California.
You see the guy right there with the awesome ginger beard. That's Phil the bassist. Watch how he's playing.
If you see me walking down the street, I'm fine. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. Just got my head ripped off in the grocery line. Same old shit every goddamn time. But if you see me walking down the street, I'm fine. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. Just got my legs blown up in the back red line. Now the world's pissed off and the fault is mine. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. Hey, you see me walking down the street, I'm fine. It's the same old shit every goddamn time. You see me walking down the street, I'm fine, 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 yeah. Fine, 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 yeah. Fine, 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 yeah. You see me walking down the street, don't mind. Just got my headphones, don't wanna find my time. Thinking of a clock or a fucking mind. You see me walking down the street, I'm fine. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. One sky so dark in the broad daylight. Who's just forward, takes with me high. Say it all day and forget all night. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. Watch the world blow up, always slip by one. Worry about a thing, this will not be fine. Close your eyes till you see the sign. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. Hey, you see me walking down the street, I'm fine. Got my headphones on by my side. See me walking down the street. Fine, 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 yeah. Fine, 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 yeah. Fine, 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 yeah. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. See me walking down the street, I'm fine. It's the same old shit till I lose my mind. See me walking down the street, see me walking down the street, I'm fine.
Yeah, so that guy Phil on the bass, he was constantly doing this, and the stage at the House of Blues was a lot bigger than that stage that they were playing on that I just showed you, and he was just pumping all around. He was constantly doing. It was like, dude, it's almost like he was being lead guitar, but on the bass, and that was the first song that they played there. But the other songs where the bass comes through more fully, and it was like, holy cow, his bass lines are pretty awesome. So I was pretty impressed with them as well. And then In the End came out and they crushed with Linkin Park songs and really covered them quite well. And my boy had a good time. I had a good time. And we left and I was like, man, I was kind of impressed with obviously I was impressed with In the End because they crushed Linkin Park. If you crush Linkin Park, you're awesome. But I was I came away more being like, man, thinking about the opening bands, more Blaze than Helen because they're more to my taste. Even though I don't like the whole punk sound as much, but and maybe it's just the bassist. Maybe it's just I like the bass player so much. Um, but yeah, it was a great weekend. I had fun with my son and met some cool new bands. Had a good time and figured I'd share it with you guys since I haven't done a Music Monday in a while. So hopefully you dug that, and maybe you should check out all three of those guys. Um, Hooked Like Helen, Blaze Francisco, and of course In the End, who is the Linkin Park tribute band. They all did a good job. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that for right now. Thanks for tuning in. Or don't forget, here on the channel, we mostly cover my literary things. On Tuesdays, we're going through the first book in my Glimmervale Chronicles Heroic Fantasy series, which is called, wait for it, Glimmervale. And tomorrow we're going to put up chapter 14, but you can always go back earlier in the channel and see the rest of it. Or you can go to Substack, like kingswood.substack.com, and read it all, or you just buy it. I prefer if you buy it. And on Saturday, we do Story Saturdays. I have been a little bit negligent about that the last month or so, but we're back into it. Lately, we're doing older stories that I wrote, so I don't have to re-record things. But I'm picking out stuff that I put here on the channel a few years back, so it shouldn't ruffle anybody's feathers. But I don't want to take the time to re-record new stories because it takes, if you record a 30-minute song, it's 30-minute song, 30-minute story, it really takes about 4 or 5 hours to get it all done because of editing and all that stuff, and you stumble over the words, you have to redo it and all that sort of thing. And right now, like I said, I'm trying to get that out to people who paid me for it on Kickstarter, and I'm this close to being done, and I need to finish it up this month. So that's why we're doing Blast from the Past on Story Saturday, but come back for then. And of course, if you like what I'm doing, like my books, there's a way for you to hook a brother up. All right, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, Kingswood, I love that story. How can I buy your books? Great question. Here's the answer. Best way to buy my books is to come over to my site, michaelkingswood.com/store. That will bring you to this place, which is my company's store where you can get books, merchandise, all kinds of great stuff that I've set up. And but you're wondering how it works. Well, here, let's check out Glimmervale Chronicles, which is my heroic fantasy series that I've talked a lot about. If you haven't read it yet, you really should. It's a super fun series. Everything you would want. You should start with Glimmervale, which is the first book. Come over here to Glimmervale. It'll load up. Hey, look at that. You get the book description, links to other books in the series, great stuff. And you can pick the format you want. You got ebook, trade paperback, and audiobook. Not everything I've written is an audiobook yet, but almost everything's a trade paperback and everything's an ebook. But like, hey, I know what you're thinking. Hey, I'm buying from you. How do I get the ebook? There's a service that I work with called BookFunnel. When you buy from my site, they will send you a link. That link will lead you to a page where they will walk you through how to load your ebook onto the device you're choosing, or you can just download it to computer and do whatever you want with it. So that way it's easy peasy. Maximum profit for me. All kinds of fun for you. But I know, a lot of you guys, you like your Kindles, you like your other things, and you want to go straight to the retailer, and that's fine. You can come over here to michaelkingswood.com/books2read, the number 2, and I have this handy dandy universal book link aggregator page set up. You can scroll through, look at all my stores, all my books, and pick which one you want, and then go from there. Here's how it works. Let's do Glimmer Veil again. So Glimmer Veil, first book in the series, you click on it, you get this thing, you get the book description, you get all other books in the series, and you say, get it now. Okay, get it now. Look what happens. Every retailer where you can find it is here. You can pick the one that you like best and say, okay, cool. Well, let's say I wanted to buy it in, I don't know, let's just say Kobo, because why not? Click on it. And then it'll ask you, is this your favorite store? If so, you set it so every time you come back, you don't have to choose. It'll just go take you to your favorite store. But let's just, you don't have to do that. Well, we're going on to Kobo. Hoo-yah. Hey, look at this. Here it is on the Kobo site. People like it. People have bought it. Good stuff. Links to other things of mine. And, or you can do one of the other stores that you like. Either way, you get the book you like. I get money. It's all good.